So next up, we're going to be checking out Worm Girl's What Actually Happened in Fear and Hunger, Story Analysis and Review. If you don't know what Fear and Hunger is, stop watching the video right now. Ask yourself, how much horrible, terrible shit are you willing to deal with? If the answer isn't, I can take it, don't watch this video. That's all I know about Fear and Hunger. I don't know what we're getting into on this one. I've actively avoided finding out because I realize it's going to be exactly what you think. But we're doing this anyways because, one, it was recommended by chat, and two, I have this perverse desire to find out where I know I'm not going to like what I find out. I'm absolutely certain it's going to be mentally scarring, but I kind of want to learn about it anyways. If that sounds fucked up to anyone, you're not the only one. Still doing it though. So let's find out just where we're going wrong and just how much. Also, just going to leave a like in advance. There we go. Is that an eye built around it? Yeah. Interesting warping effect. Wonder where the audio came from. It's warping. Have I heard that audio before? I don't... Something about that audio sounds incredibly familiar. I don't know why. Maybe I've heard it used somewhere else.
Fear and Hunger is a series that rarely tells you what's actually
Did
going
you just melt
on.
in there?
Fans of the dark fantasy genre, or really anyone who's paid attention to any video game analysis in the past 20 years, should be familiar with this sort of storytelling, where a less is more approach can leave the audience totally enthralled even when they have no idea what's going on.
Oh, they're bringing out storytelling elements. Ooh. See, this is actually something I quite like because I am absurdly stupid when it comes to writing tropes because, you know, English major, it happens. But I like hearing about this because the concept of less is more is if you don't overload someone with all of the exposition, just leave enough to give them a mystery. They'll be, well, admittedly, just drawn into it. Also, why are they called zoophobia? You know, let's not think about this. Also, Ori, probably in the Super Eye Patch Wolf videos? Yeah, that's where I learned about this game. Oof.
The little glimmers of understanding these stories make excellent bait, drawing us further in each time we catch a glimpse of the bigger picture. And the act of sitting, thinking, and puzzling out the best answers we can, or even better, discussing them with the community, can lend a sense of having a
essentially
personal connection
roguelike
to the
almost?
story. There are a lot of ways this story can go. Any or all of the cast can die at any time. The dungeon is wide open with many avenues of exploration, and a friend in one playthrough could be an enemy or even a victim the next.
Oh.
There are 5 enemies.
I thought there... Wait, so things actually do change. Also, I'm being told it's a phobia they have, not the character's name. Oh, okay. I thought they were just naming them that way. Not sure if that makes it better or not. So you could actually have different interactions. Like, is it always set or is it randomized?
Each of which can vary based on the player's actions, and there are a further 4 character-specific endings.
Oh, that's creepy.
There's enough to keep players puzzling over the game for weeks, if not months, and until the sequel came out, none of it was necessarily canon.
Oh? Wait, what?
But come out it did.
Wait, what? So nothing was actually canon except for the things that were canon until... What happened in the sequel to make things... Wait, warning, this game is canon.
And though the story of Termina takes place in a different country 400 years later, it makes it clear that several of the endings, or at least something similar to them, happened all at once.
Oh, so we're going Zelda continuity. No, not Zelda, sorry. Elder Scrolls where it just all happens.
And so this analysis will explore this YouTuber's
And one of them says just get wrecked.
interpretation of the canonical version of events, with a disclaimer that your own understanding
It is likely that the events cannot perfectly map into what is possible at the first game for a variety of reasons, not the least of which being that Miro probably wants things to be vague or in some cases unsolvable to ensure that no one playthrough is correct and everyone can feel like their game was the real one in some way. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Also, I'm being told by Raw, it is both set pieces and randomized elements. So we're going Fate timeline. Fate timeline is actually pretty standardized if you take a point of, okay, it's multiversal, and sometimes they interact. It actually means that the best thing you could watch initially to get into Fate is Carnival Phantasm. Because, like, here's a bunch of random things that almost never interact, but you kind of understand who the characters are, and now see them get horribly torn apart in the real canons. Not the usual way to get into it, but it is a way.
Understanding of the story may vary.
Dragon breaks
If at any
indeed,
point this
Sturg.
intrigues you enough, I highly encourage you to stop the video and pick up the game. You can always come back and argue your own interpretation in the comments.
Masochism?
Fear and Hunger tells the story
Bee
of four
paintings?
people who have come to delve into the titular dungeons of Fear and Hunger. They each come separately
Wait,
and for their own reasons,
wait.
but they all
Are the dungeons actually called the Dungeons of Fear and Hunger in this game? Oh. That's not what I was expecting.
arrive at roughly the same time, just days after all hell has broken loose and turned a dismal prison into something unspeakably worse.
Yeah.
The four roughly fit the description of a classic D&D adventuring party, but Vox Machina this is not. Fear and Hunger is not interested in that sort of larger-than-life character-driven story where everybody's got a role to play in saving the world.
Admittedly, I am a fan of those kinds of character-driven stories because I like character-driven stories. Where this is more of the, you're going to die because this is the freaking dungeon. Either Mad Mage or Elements or that one freaking lich who will not be named.
It's more like something your metalhead friend would drop on you after smoking weed and watching Begotten too many times.
The extraordinary first film for the director of The Shadow of the Vampire? I have no idea what that is. But also, even I know Metapocalypse. Didn't realize they were a real band on top of that, though. That actually was news to me.
Most of these people are going to die, and you are going to watch them do it. When starting a new game, the player chooses one of the four and goes through a short choose-your-own-adventure style backstory. The consequences of these choices are mostly minor, affecting starting equipment or skills, but all characters can forego 2 of their rewards in order to acquire the dash skill, which roughly doubles walking speed outside of combat.
Oh.
As the game
Okay, that actually, with how many things are chasing with this game, dashing seems like it would be the most important option.
includes both enemies that will pursue the player and a time-sensitive goal, this is generally recommended for new players.
Yeah. Unless you know everything
Regardless
already.
of who and what they choose, the player finds their avatar arriving at the dungeon's gates. An open portcullis marks the obvious entrance, but there's also a side door and an open area
And
filled
the
with a lot of
dog
interesting
wolves in the
things to
background.
examine. If the player
Was that nitroglycerin? Okay, I didn't realize that was in this game. Explosives for everyone.
spends more than a few seconds looting the boxes and barrels scattered around the place, or worse, goes through the front door, they'll be set upon by a large pack of larger hounds and almost certainly torn to pieces.
Yeah.
Not even a full minute after completing their character history. The sound of the dogs
And
as
then
they
they
approach,
die.
snapping and snarling, is enough to set your teeth on edge, and seeing their furry bodies charging out of the mist for the first time is a unique experience. Most players will eventually learn to go through the side door. A few will learn that this is not the game for them, and probably a smaller number will learn how to somehow defeat all the dogs without taking damage. Although there's no
Wait, you can actually defeat the dogs without taking damage? I thought they were literally just there to make sure you moved on. And, okay. Also, people are talking about what I have wrong with Asarak. And a certain tomb that will be maybe about non-existencery? Nothing at all, nothing. Mostly because I know people who play D&D with me who have gone on for a very long time about their hatred for it, to the point where they said the exact memorized pattern to get through the dungeon without any problems whatsoever because they hated it that much. And I'm like, you know what? That's more than I want to have to deal with. No.
reward for doing so. These are all correct answers, and the dog's placement in the very beginning of the game serves to perfectly signpost what's to come. The game is never going to stop being like this.
He's dead.
The
Level
dungeon,
1
as it turns
stairway.
out, is not simply named after one of the game's major mechanics. All who enter find their strength and willpower supernaturally drained by the oppressive atmosphere of the place, and as the player enters, it quickly becomes clear that food is going to be a problem. Until quite recently, this place was a functioning prison. Now, the candles have gone out, half-eaten meals spoil where they've been left on the tables, and unearthly creatures float like jellyfish above the corpses that litter the floor. In terms of gameplay, Kahara is the rogue of the group. He's good at running away, he can steal, he can pick locks, and physically
those are
he's
people.
just kind of in the middle. Kahara is the first of the four to encounter what remains of the dungeon's guards. Something has warped them to huge, misshapen brutes, charging anything they see with
Oh, those were people. And they censored it. That's good. Okay. Yeah. I always thought they were just monsters in here. I didn't realize, you know what, she's been saying this entire time, and it really never got into my head that this is people were warped this way. I almost, for some reason, thought it was empty, like a prison that was kind of just abandoned. And like they've been talking about, it's a prison. It was active. It just, for some reason, I never literally clicked in my head. Oh yeah, the things you fight used to be the normal human inhabitants. They just got fucked somehow. And considering the editing on screen, probably literally.
Massive meat cleavers in a violent parody of their former occupation. Unfortunately, chopping off limbs and protecting the dungeon isn't the only thing they have in mind. This is another point where I expect a lot of players will choose to find something else to occupy their time.
Yeah.
Jarring subject matter aside.
For me, I wouldn't play this game. Mostly because I just prefer story-driven things, and the lore of it is cool, but I would never want to actually play this game. This is not for me. Which is annoying because I do like the dark content of the lore and how it is all built together in a way that seems fascinating. Is what I'm saying right now, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and it isn't actually worth it, except from what I've heard, it is.
Fighting the guards is initially an exercise in frustration. Fear and Hunger treats every fight like a boss battle, and most enemies have multiple body parts which may be individually targeted and destroyed.
Wait, you can actually just beat this guy by punching him in the dick? Okay, yeah, that would work. Also, I'm just going to pull up your comment. 1, thank you very much, Raw. 2, Fear and Hunger have only one fully confirmed ending. Ending A, the creation of God and Hunger, responsible for humanity reaching World War II technology in 300 years. She is one of the 2 good... Wait, they're good? I thought people were fucking with me when they said that. Not what I was expecting. Ah. Also, I'm being told this is story and exploration driven. If you fight too much, you are doing it wrong. Yeah, but it's a bit more than I want to get into.
These limbs will often each get a turn of their own to perform attacks, cast spells, or occasionally pull off special moves that prompt the player to call a coin toss. Yeah. Success generally means dodging the attack, while failure can lead to an immediate loss. The guard's cleaver attack will casually chop off your character's arms, and their other hand has one of these instant death coin tosses. They'll also occasionally attack with their stinger, and even if all these parts are sliced off, they can still tackle for a healthy chunk of damage. New players will often try attacking different limbs only to discover that they're doomed no matter what they do.
So you just have to attack the head first off to get an instant kill or something?
Each enemy is a puzzle. In the case of the guards, the ideal solution is simply to avoid them. But failing that, the order of operations is to attack their left arm, then guard, which automatically passes the coin flip attack, then hit the stinger, then the torso, guard again, and hit the torso twice more. This will often win the fight without taking any damage.
So there's actually a pattern to what you have to attack. Okay. And the only way you find that out is by dying multiple times. My problem with this is I would never remember the first run to the second run.
It isn't this simple with every enemy, but once you understand what the game is asking of you, it goes from impossible to merely difficult.
This almost sounds like a kind of game that if you don't want to do multiple runs, you have to literally sit down and read a guide to this thing. Huh.
Unfortunately, Kahara was not informed of this. He's promptly captured and left in a cell to rot. Enki Ankarian is on a quest for enlightenment, an obvious choice for one bearing the enlightened soul. Raised in the vicious tradition of the Dark Priests, who venerate the old gods in exchange for magical power, he is a man who has set aside all concepts of morality in search of knowledge.
Well, he's in the right place for it.
While attempting to ritually sacrifice himself, he received a vision concerning a prophecy.
Oh, that's what he was doing before coming here. So he's probably okay with everything going on right now.
That a fair-haired man who rivals the gods in both strength and beauty will unite the warring kingdoms under one banner and bring an end to the people's suffering, and that this man could be found in the dungeons of Fear and Hunger. But why him, thinks Enki, and not me? And so he has his fellow priests cut him down from the cross so that he can seize the reins of destiny. The guards pose little threat to Enki. The Dark Priest is physically frail, but his blood magic can burn their heads from their shoulders and stuff the souls of the departed back into their corpses to serve.
Okay, yeah, Dark Priest indeed. Also, Hammer, 1, thank you very much too. Yeah, it's a guide-heavy game. Lots of weird imagery in this game for some reason. Very fun regardless. I recommend a friend playing if you can handle. Honestly, that's part of the reason I wanted to look at Worm Girl eventually, this video right now, because I kind of want to learn more about it. It's actually been on my watch list for a while. But also, it is really screwed up, man. Yeah. But it's really fun and cool looking, but at the same time, it's way darker than I want to get into, but it's also cool looking.
serve as his undead minions.
I have a love-hate
It's a lot of
relationship
fun.
with fucked up
He
content.
makes his way to the libraries at the upper level, which are stocked with everything from children's
usually
fairy tales to
horrible
tomes of
shit, but
arcane
also
knowledge. He also meets with other men of the cloth, who tell him much before they die.
I think I saw a bit about this playthrough right here when I saw Super Eye Patch Wolf bring this up the first time I saw it. Also, Andre, everybody has different soul that they represent? Oh. So there's multiple types of soul in this game. Okay.
Eventually, he discovers a secret passage leading to a secluded courtyard.
Well, that's a lot of
Here,
bodies.
A group of bunny masks, naked revelers who have completely lost themselves in a never-ending ritual, invite passers-by to join them, seeming oblivious to the surrounding chaos. Doing so will increase one's connection to Sylvian, the god of love and creation, but comes with the risk of forgetting everything and becoming a permanent part of the ritual. Fear and Hunger's gods fall into two camps, the old gods and the new. While worship of the two is not mutually exclusive, Enki's interest extends primarily to the former. The old gods have existed since before time and created the world and everything in it. Their power is immense and unparalleled and freely available to any with the will to wield it, so long as they can pay the proper price. We're initially introduced to four of the old gods. There are others, though some are obscure or at least initially irrelevant. Grogroth, the destroyer of men, despite embodying death and decay, is not a malicious god. Rather, his role is to clear space for new things to flourish and grow. His followers receive fearsome attack magic and the ability to create and control the undead. It's said that he's a curious god, frequently walking the earth in the guise of a mortal.
Yeah. But it almost looks like he's wearing a meat suit around a smaller head with a normal face, but then everything else around it is terrifying. Ugh. And Purple is going, you are filled with determination. Yeah, that definitely seems like a thing.
Sylvian, his antithesis and wife, is the god of creation, fertility, and love.
Also, being a skeleton from the waist down, and a tentacle monster. Okay. Also, Bill, you mentioned, fun fact, Lagarde, the knight we are searching for, canonically doesn't have a soul? Wait, you can even do that? Okay.
It was she who created humanity, but eventually she came to realize that her creations could never love her like she loved them, and she has since grown distant. Regardless, her followers can still tap into potent healing magic. The god of the depths is a little-known entity worshipped by the desperate and forgotten. It has dominion over vermin and carrion birds.
Wait,
and unsurprisingly,
Raven?
Its influence is strong within the dungeons.
Oh, wait. I think I remember the Raven as one of those big enemies that you need to run away from. Oh.
For millennia, the old gods held sway over the world, which was dominated by the cruelty of the strong. But just over 15 centuries ago, a man named Al-Mur was born to a virgin mother in the holy city of Jataya. He gathered 12 apostles and traveled the land, spreading teachings of a new world order. Eventually, the sultans and kings of the eastern sanctuaries, threatened by his growing influence, executed him by crucifixion.
Yeah, so it's basically the Jesus stand-in in this version.
This would prove to be their undoing, as upon dying, Al-Mur achieved divinity, joining the ranks of the old gods and sparking an uprising that saw the corrupt rulers slain. Thus began a new era, with Al-Mur becoming the primary figure of worship and his teachings becoming the...
It is so weird to see this much color in Fear and Hunger. Like, unironically, that's way more color than the rest of the game has, which is intentional, I think, because it makes it more evocative when you see it. It's like, whoa. Because everything else is drab and gray and dark and green. Then you see bright, vibrant reds and yellows and a little bit of blues and purples and pinks and a lot of gold. And it's like, oh, yeah, that stands out.
Basis for the laws of many of the kingdoms of the world. But as with the gods who had come before him, Al-Mur's influence began to fade, and the great kingdoms which had prospered under his teachings crumbled over the centuries. In the 9th century, a new pantheon came to prominence. Though it failed to push Al-Mur out of favor in the Western world, its deities would once again create a new world order. These gods were called the Endless, the Enlightened, the Dominating, and the Tormented.
Oh,
and their
God.
influence, more direct and personal than the gods who'd come before them, would bring humanity out of antiquity and into the Middle Ages. This is inarguably a little confusing.
So it almost seems like the world is based on successions of gods leading people into various states. Also, I'm being told from that's from the second game. Oh. And Hammer said the Crow Mauler, yeah, he sucks. If you know his weakness, but not a fun fight, oof.
Which may
The
be why
pyramid head of the game.
Haveranen has provided Al-Mur. An obvious analog for Christ is a way to orient ourselves.
Yep.
In real life, Christianity brought the world away from the monolithic and implacable gods of the pagan world to something more relatable. Like many things in Fear and Hunger, this is a polarizing creative decision, which nonetheless serves a useful narrative purpose. The role Jesus plays in real-life Christianity is quite similar to Almer in the story. By making humanity the central focus of...
Is this a meme video I'm not aware of? Like a guy just talking to a wall? It's probably a meme I just don't know about then, yeah.
the religion, rather than the forces of nature,
So many memes I
people
don't
are better
know.
able to relate to the divine. The same can be said of religions like Islam or Buddhism.
Although for some of the polytheistic religions, it was also designed as morality plays. Design isn't always the right choice, except for the people who explicitly knew they were pulling a con on people, such as some of the priests of Hades who had a specific way they could stay above poisonous gas in one of the pits to hell where they were worshipped Hades. But if anyone came in who didn't know about how high they had to be to stay above that gas level, specifically at certain times of days where it'd be low enough for someone to walk into it, they would then suffocate because there was carbon monoxide covering a layer that would be unbreathable and they would just fall over dead. Yeah, that's a thing. It's actually a known tourist attraction now. Ooh, also, I'm just going to wait for the comment to bring up so I can read. There you go, Raw 1. Thank you, too. Sylvian is arguably the only other god that likes humanity, but she likes them too much. Slanesh levels. New gods is a trap, explained later. Oh.
These faiths are very different from each other, and this is a gross oversimplification, but all three seek to pass down a system of morality via an aspirational central figure who best exemplifies the belief system.
Oh.
In contrast, most ancient religions, especially Old World paganism, tend to use their gods as a
Mystery of the Drew. Oh, God, I think I've seen pictures of that thing. I don't think I want to know. Oh, God.
way to explain the world around them. Thunder is the sound of Thor's hammer. The tide moves by the will of Poseidon. These implacable entities may love humanity, but they are remote and in many ways unknowable. So the old gods, including Almer, are clear allusions to real-world religion. What is harder to see is exactly how the new gods play into things. Only two of our protagonists are religious, and while one follows all of the old gods,
I just realized he has fangs. Like, the guy's literally just a vampire. The Dark Priest. Literal fangs. And the knight who has a woman trying to lick his ear, or her ear. I guess that's the Slanesh goddess then. Got it. Ooh, okay. Yeah, let's not think about that too much.
the other is a devout worshipper of Almer, and from her we learn that this is still the dominant religion in Rondon. In the dungeons, we find only a single statue of the new gods, while the old gods are venerated everywhere. So who are they, and how did they bring about a new world order?
Okay. You know what? People in the comments mention the new gods are a trap. And as soon as she's talking about the new gods, and you see freaking Berserk. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a choice, and it tells you everything you need to know.
So much of this game is inspired by Kentaro Miura's Berserk, and the idea of a quartet of shadowy figures who remake the world without ever stepping into center stage is likely drawn from the God Hand, who operate in a similar fashion.
Yeah.
Ragnvaldr the Outlander comes from the kingdom of...
I mean, to be fair, the Berserk gods, their entire point was give meaning to the endless brutality by making it worse, but then it's worse because of them. Which, from a meta enlightened perspective, it's actually really cool. But and if you actually are in this world, it's like, oh God, what the fuck, man? Still wish they had finished it. It's like, I'm not even into Berserk, but I love the overarching story. I just can't get into it because it's just too dark. But that's just me being weak. But I love what it represents and how the story it was telling. It's one of those things where I would love to hear someone else talk about it passionately, where I can never get into it myself, but I love that it exists.
Oldegard, a frigid land to the north that produces advanced ships and sturdy warriors. At a young age, he joined an expedition across the Western Ocean to the continent of Vinland. Hoping to find treasure, the crew only met with...
Oh, it's that literal. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Madness. The entire continent was under the sway of the god of the depths, blanketed in an unnatural darkness that infected the minds of the crew and nearly drove them all to kill each other. Ragnvaldr was one of the few to escape, and all the expedition had to show for its effort was a strange artifact, the Cube of the Depths.
Oh?
Tragedy would come again when a mercenary group known as the Knights of the Midnight Sun struck deep into Oldegard in search of the cube. Once again, Ragnvaldr survived, but his wife and son did not. It may be that Ragnvaldr's tormented soul is the source of his unhappy luck, seemingly keeping him alive only to further his suffering. Shortly after returning from Oldegard with the cube, the Knights of the Midnight Sun would take part in a coup against the monarch of Rondon, an act which ended in failure, with the knights and their leader, Legard, taken prisoner in the dungeons of fear and hunger.
Legard, the knight that you are looking for here, I think from the knight's perspective. Oh, okay. That's who Legard is. He's also the one who then killed the main character's family and friends.
And so Ragnvaldr pursues him, intent on avenging his family and reclaiming the cube.
Yep.
Armed with a bow, he can damage enemies before engaging in combat, and he boasts the highest attack power of the 4 protagonists, allowing him to excel in melee combat as well.
Oh.
The Outlander follows in Enki's footsteps, only stopping to strike down a guard and pick up a weapon or two. Everywhere, he encounters signs of the same influence that corrupted Vinland, a hateful darkness that takes root in the land and slowly begins to propagate.
Oh, okay. Random things you see on
The
screen.
door was sealed until recently, when someone dispelled the magical lock. Inside, Ragnvaldr finds a hexen table.
Wait, until some... Does that mean that you have to make multiple playthroughs to get different options in other playthroughs with other characters? And according to Hammer, Raggi or Ragnvald is the least playable of the group at the start. Oh.
Special altar built to channel divine power. While the man has little use for gods, old or new, he knows he'll need better weaponry to deal with the evil that lurks in this place. So he places his spear atop the table and passes a soul stone over it, imbuing it with a powerful curse. Darse Catalyst is Legard's closest lieutenant. Once a holy knight of Rondon, she grew disillusioned with the greed of the nobility, who spoke of religious ideals while sending their armies to pillage and conquer for personal gain. Charmed by Legard's charisma and ability, she left her order to join his company of mercenaries.
See, this I remember from when Super Eye Patch Wolf was covering it, saying how she's searching for Legard. And then if other things happen, you decide to find him, but you don't find him, and things go weird. It's a lot more intricate than I realized. Because from what I saw before, each one was just a character type. Now there's more of their story beyond just find this guy as the motivation, which it's accurate, but a lot of context about how their stories actually do kind of intertwine in various ways.
The Knights of the Midnight Sun. The company made quite a name for itself, and in time, Darse realized she had fallen in love with her captain. When his rebellion failed and he was captured, she decided to risk everything on a solo rescue mission. Despite being second in command, Darse bears the dominating soul, which has a tendency to draw people to her, but also to blind her to her own flaws. She makes her way through the eastern side of the dungeon, fighting past the guards until she reaches the cells on the 3rd level. But Legard isn't here, only a scruffy Easterner who introduces himself as Kahara.
Oh, so you actually can meet up. Oh. And I'm being told by Yokai and Hammer that, yes, I'm assuming about you have different options based on the order you play them through. Does that mean you have to specifically fail in certain ways for things to move forward? Oh, that would be unique. And according to Hammer, I'm just going to choose this one right here. And it's deleted right before I could read it. Ah, well, guess not.
He seems happy to be released, but as soon as she turns her back on him, he's gone, and her purse feels a little lighter.
And the thief steals,
Darse
yeah.
decides to head up to the 1st floor, traveling through a sewer heaped with rotting corpses along a river of ruby blood. It seems preposterous that so many people could have met their end here. Even as large as this place is, the cells could never have held them all.
Magic.
It would seem that Rondon's non-stop warfare has been fueling this place with fresh victims for whatever abominable rituals are taking place here.
Oh, and that's probably leading into what they mentioned in the chat about how the gods are a trap. They're doing this intentionally.
Finding her way out of the blood pit, Darse manages to surprise Torture, the torturer with the world's unlikeliest name.
My
Despite
God.
his threats, she easily dispatches the frail little man. Not far down the hall, she discovers the person she'd been looking for, Lord Ludwig Buckman, the Crown Prince of Rondon.
Oh.
Buckman is part of an adventuring party that arrived here a few days prior, and he's already beginning to snap. Though the man would have been Darse's enemy on the battlefield, the politics of the outside world hardly seem relevant now. She invites him to join her, but he's too frightened to explore the darkness any further.
Honestly, probably the smartest way to handle this thing. Get out. Don't come back. Smartest way to handle anything to do with this game.
Fair enough.
But
the guard isn't in the torture chambers either, but she does find somebody else.
oh, that's a
Locked in
person.
small cage like an animal, a little girl in a ratty black dress cowers away from the torchlight. She's clearly been here for a very long time. She won't or can't speak, but the knight's heart is moved by the pitiful sight. She quickly unlocks
And she's also right by the statue of the 4 new gods as well. Oh.
the cage and coaxes her out.
Why do I feel she's going to grow teeth and bite this person's head off? I don't even know that's accurate. It's just, oh god.
No place is safe in
Ooh, also, you just got Gene Alter? Nice! Love that character in FGO.
the dungeon. Letting an innocent
Also, according to Hammer, there's an ending where you can just leave. Neat. Huh.
child remain here would be unconscionable, and leaving is impossible. So the only choice is to bring her along. There's no
Oof, the
telling
dark
what
section would
horrors
drive
the
me
girl
crazy.
has seen or experienced here.
Probably as
But
much as
Darth
you're
can
leading
offer
to.
one small comfort.
Oh, there was a small side door as well. Okay.
There was a strange little doll back in Kahara's cell. It's a creepy-looking thing.
Oh! And that's right from the thumbnail for the video as well as the game itself. So she's definitely important. Not just as a, here's a little trap that you're going to walk into later, but as someone you need to probably find. Huh. Okay.
And the fact that it bears a passing resemblance to the guard is unsettling. But the girl
Really?
is astonished to receive it, as though the simple gesture is the first kindness she's received in a very long time.
Also, her hands are red and like
The
holding
circular
blood
stairs
to
that
it.
descend into the lower levels of the prison are locked up tight. If the guard is still alive, he must be held down there. And so there's only one way to go. Kahara finds that the mists still prevent his escape. He's just about given up on his goal. No prizes
Oh, so he actually gets to try and leave, but he can't yet. Ooh.
worth what he's already experienced, and only torment and death await below. All he has to do is bide his time and flee with whatever he can
Also, just one random NPC standing out there. Okay.
once the weather turns. The knight's purse is a good start, but surely there's something else here. The elevator carries Darce and her little companion down to an impossibly vast cavern. Cave gnomes, gnarled little gremlins that attack anything they can find with their sharp teeth, flit around like bats in the dark, and their rancid eggs litter the floor.
That's...
The cave
Wait, those are the eggs? I thought those were dead. Oh, they plant them, don't they?
mother is deceptively easy. Attacking its chest will stop the cave gnomes from showing up, but it's usually just faster to destroy the wings, as this will end the battle no matter how many adds there are.
Oh,
The little girl is not an effective fighter, but she can use items as well as anybody else, including
so keep
throwing
you
knives.
alive.
In short order, the pair send the monster plummeting to its apparent doom.
Apparent doesn't sound like actual.
Nursing their wounds, they continue through the dark until they spot what Darce initially mistakes to be a man. Pocket Cat is a children's fairy tale. A Krampus-like figure who steals bad little boys and girls away from their homes, stuffing them into sacks and taking them away where they'll never see their parents again.
Yeah, sure. Why not? This is exactly what it would be. Oh, God.
He's a tall, thin figure with dapper clothing and yellow eyes that shine behind his wooden mask. His hand moves in his pocket as he leers at the girl. He greets the two with cheerful courtesy and makes Darce an offer. He'll buy the child, relieving her of the responsibility of her care, and in return he'll give her any number of wonderful things. Books of terrible arcane power, or a mighty claymore that makes her longsword look like a toothpick.
So in other words, there's probably multiple ways this game goes, where the option is get a good ending or get an ending at all because you can finally beat the game.
Though she says nothing, the girl is clearly frightened of the creature. Darce is not tempted in the slightest. She politely declines, and though Pocket
And I'm assuming this is for the official ending, not the various ones you get based on choosing other options.
Cat seems disappointed, he gives her a pleasant goodbye. Beyond the caverns, the pair are surprised to discover what appears to be a mine. Tracks have been laid for carts and stone hauled out of the tunnels in great quantities.
And random
But the work
person.
has clearly been hasty. Liberal use of explosives and a lack of regard for safety have led to the caverns collapsing in places, blocking off tunnels and making it even more of a claustrophobic labyrinth.
That's a head.
Darce is no miner,
That's a few
but to the
heads.
untrained eye, none of this looks like ore. It's all just stone. So what were they digging for? The pair continue on, sneaking past a meditating man garbed in yellow, and eventually coming to a strange village populated by subterranean.
And they're blocking. Dear God, this game needs so much editing. Also, I'm trying not to look at chat because I know there might be spoilers right now. So if I'm not responding, that's why. Oh god, that
radiant
is so
humanoids. The creatures seem peaceful
very
enough,
thick back of the
but the
neck.
place is littered with human bones piled up in homage to some dark god, suggesting they may be more fearful than friendly.
Yeah.
At the edge of the village, a great chasm yawns open, a sheer drop
Is that
into
a mount?
infinite
Oh god.
darkness. A narrow precipice bridges a gap.
Is that a freaking root with human teeth and lips and oh god. Oh.
To the lips and teeth of some enormous monster.
Do you jump
a
into
sight
it?
that makes Darce's skin crawl. She leads the girl away, but stops to check a nearby hut. Upon a profane altar rests the prize that the Knights of the Midnight Sun claimed from their campaign in Oldegard. It is the Cube of the Depths, the guard's prized trophy. If this is here, he can't be far. She takes the cube from the altar, and as she steps out of the makeshift temple,
Everyone
one of the
becomes
nearby
hostile?
dwellers raises the hue and cry. The commotion sets off the entire village, and they descend on the knight with rocks and spears.
Yeah.
Already wounded, she manages to slay only a few before she's knocked down. The girl tries to intervene, and though the dwellers scarcely lay a finger on her, she's too small to be of any help.
So canonically, you have to lose here to move on. Okay.
Far above, Rognvalder passes through a courtyard populated by a mindless cult of bunny masks and a man who claims to be turning into a butterfly. He leaves them in peace and comes to an unnatural-looking tree, which appears to have grown around
It's eating people. Oh, of course it is.
a few fresh corpses. A hollow in its trunk leads...
Also, just random fun fact. While trees usually are not carnivorous themselves, they do gain nutrients from dead bodies of various animals, wherever it can get, because the bacteria sometimes form symbiotic relationships with the roots. And by sometimes, I mean, I don't know which specific type, but there are bacteria that do that. And they help exchange information between various root networks. So that you actually have connected interactions of what look like neural networks within root systems, which can also then pass along nutrients as well as, hey, predator, maybe you should close down the capillaries. That is a thing that happens. So very slow thought pattern. Not in the way we think of thought, but passing of information between plant life. So you can see reactions based on what's going on and how to react to certain environmental effects. And that does involve breaking down meat and then spreading the nutrients to the various plants that connect to the new root networks. So, yeah, now you know.
into a bizarre chamber formed entirely out of roots and vines. He finds that by pressing the walls in places, he can open new passageways, and the floor has weakened, permitting him access to lower levels.
Okay, if I found out about that, I would never be able to play this game because I would be pressing every damn wall and every floor space. And when I die, I'd be like, okay, now I have to get back here.
The influence of the darkness is strong here. Frail shapes with bloated heads wander back and forth, murmuring nonsense to themselves. Surely these were people once, driven mad
they're in the
by
walls.
the god of the depths. Only one place is free of the corruption, a bare spot where a sword has been plunged into the ground. Despite an ominous sensation, the outlander grips the eastern blade and pulls it free. It has been here battling the darkness alone for a very long time, but now it will have an ally. He is immediately attacked by the specter of its former owner, who wordlessly motions for him to return the blade. But it won't do to leave the weapon here, nor to let its former owner remain chained in torment. He strikes the spirit with his cursed blade, severing its ties to this world and speeding it on to its final reward. With the assassin...
Can we all acknowledge that I don't think there's a reward for anything in this game? It's just, congratulations, more horror!
Spectre's blessing and his new blade in hand, the outlander continues downward, hoping to honor the man's memory by using his blade to continue the war against the darkness.
And he says, finish my task, yeah.
Further down, he encounters a gigantic heart pulsating among the
Oh, that's
vines.
a heart?
Without hesitation, he plunges his blade into it and moves ever deeper.
Oh yes, kill the giant vine heart.
Dropping down yet another hole, the outlander finds himself in a catacomb swarming with biting insects.
Oh god. Ugh. I was just gonna wait for the comment to come up. It should be just a second. Oh yeah, Bill mentioned trees reproduce by dropping bombs. And please note, Worm Girl is trying to tie all the stories together. For some things had to happen to get the sequel. If you lose, it's game over or end. Ah. So in other words, these are the steps that have to happen to get what happens. In other words, it's not the only ending we're seeing. It's one of many, but it's what is probably the most likely options that led to these outcomes, including the failures that had to happen as well as the successes that had to happen to get there. Okay.
Here, he finds another heart and destroys it. He must be close to his prey now. He can feel it. Puzzling over his maps, Kahara comes across an unexpected sight. A village of some sort of cave people. They flee from his torchlight, but make no motion to harm him. The knight who freed him lies half-conscious on the floor as one of the cave dwellers tries to bash her head in with a rock. He wants to leave her. The cave people haven't been bothering him, and there's no reason to get involved. But something in him just can't. He slips his sword from his belt and rushes in to help. The troglodyte falls before it can finish her off, but its death cry is answered by hoots and growls from the others.
Yeah, this should probably
As
run.
always, no good deed can go unpunished. To the mercenary's surprise, a small child emerges from the dark and clings to Darce, trying to help her up. Somehow, she wasn't harmed by the cave dwellers. The knight, battered and bruised but still in one piece, gives Kahara her emphatic thanks, seeming profoundly shamed by her near-death experience.
Yeah, let's... I think for non-YouTube reasons, for YouTube reasons explicitly, I will not say what we all know exactly happened, but we also know exactly what they're alluding to here.
The trio decide to flee the now hostile village by dropping down a mine shaft, where they are shocked to discover a group of men and women in wolf masks gorging themselves on each other's flesh.
Ew.
They draw their blade, but the cannibals pay them little mind.
Pretend the girl is in the party here. I am not recording the mines again. Oh god, so you have multiple choices of who to bring here. Got it.
Darce recoils in horror, but Kahara immediately understands what has happened. This must be what remains of Captain Rudimer's expedition. They came down to eliminate the source of evil plaguing the upper dungeons, and instead they fell victim to it. Starvation drove them to cannibalism, and cannibalism to Grogeroth. Like the bunny masks, they've lost their minds to the ecstasy of the feast. The ritual will last until its final celebrant has devoured...
Also, random specters, got it. And they became crazy when they said Grogeroth. He's one of the old gods who was getting rid of the old for the new, and very much about death. Yeah.
...themselves. Nobody stops them as they leave, moving blindly through the caverns
Except for
until
the
they once
spirits.
again find cart tracks to follow. Kahara swears he sees a figure following them, but the other two
Few of
can't
them.
make anything out. Before long, the tracks come to an end, and the rough stone of the mines is replaced with pavement and masonry. It's the dungeon! Imagine being happy to see this place. Swarms of vermin crawl across the floor, biting and stinging the three as they follow Darce, who practically sprints down the hall, heedless of the split-open heart bulging out of the floor or the dead guard in the hall.
Okay, so this is something where the other character already went through. Oh, and Valerian, what is the growth thing? This was covered earlier, but I think before you got here. This is one of the old gods who wasn't malicious, but very much more, you do your thing.
She follows a trail of blood to a barred door, and beyond. The guard is dead. His throat has been cut.
Oh, because some of the options are you come and you find him before he's dead, and he says he wants to stay. So this is one of the options where you had to take certain choices not to get here before this happened. Okay.
All of this was for nothing. If only Darce had been faster. She falls to her knees, sobbing. The girl can only stare at him with an uncanny look of recognition, tears on her cheeks. Kahara scoffs. All this for nothing. He can't help but be annoyed by the dead man. What was any of this even for? Eventually,
This is probably because the other character found him and got revenge beforehand. Yeah.
Darce pulls herself together to leave, but as she does, she encounters a strange man who comments on Lagarde's importance and how unexpected it is that he didn't make it. He gestures at a dark corridor, suggesting the three give it a look. After all, the guard came here for a reason.
If they'd been faster. Oh, so they did actually have options to run here.
Lagarde's fate is decided simply by how quickly you can reach him. Sleeping, fighting, having a dalliance with the bunny masks, none of that matters. If the time on your file is under 30 minutes, the man is...
Oh, it's literally a 30-minute timer even to get here. Oh, that's... yeah, I would never be able to do that. Nope. But granted, you're also doing so many resets. By the time you reach here, you probably know how to get here faster.
alive. If it's over, he's dead. Which is the canon outcome is a matter of debate.
Ending C would seem to be canon, except Terminator confirms it does not go as well as the end card suggests. Per dialogue with August, this puts into doubt, and in addition to optional dialogue during Terminator's ending A route, as well as an animation scene there, to me suggests that something between Darce S and C2 is canon. There is probably not a real answer. Either works. I personally prefer the interpretation where it gives Darcy more agency in the story, but he leaves what you want to remember. Sylvian loves you. Oh, God. What kind of ending are we leading into?
But due to the mutual exclusivity of certain confirmed canon events if things go otherwise, Lagarde's death would seem to be the likelier of the two.
Ah.
The dungeons are sacred to the old faith, a nexus where the barrier between worlds is thin. It is said to be one of the last places where a man may meet his creators, and according to the priests who now lie strewn about their own altar, a ritual is underway to bring about paradise. What exactly that means is uncertain, but Lagarde was supposed to be the key. Enki digs around the corpse pile until he pulls his prize free. A severed head.
Oh, this I do remember. The severed head was one of the enemies that you could fight. And that's something I saw in the Super Eye Patch Wolf video that apparently was really powerful too. And Hammer, I'm just going to pull up your comment. That tree we saw is one of the faster ways to get to Lagarde. It goes down deep. Oh, so it was even an option as well. Okay. And, heard about the defeat of Hyanime? Or Hyanime created by a site was taken down Disney and Crunchyroll? I don't know what that is, actually. Is it like a Hulu-style video thing? Okay. Makes sense. And remember, the god's idea of love is different from our own. Remember that character known as marriage? Bill, I am very much trying not to think about that because that was fucked up, man.
The funny dancing men are yellow mages, cultists of this head, the great wizard Nasra, who are here to do their master's bidding. Or they were until Enki killed them.
Oh.
The floating head can't help but laugh at his moxie, and once Enki explains that he had a vision that enlightenment awaits him in the depths, Nasra agrees to take him on as a pupil.
Oh, it teaches you.
Nasra is a fantastic party member. He's also incredibly foul-mouthed and will roast, sometimes literally, the hell out of a lot of the characters that you encounter. Hundreds of years ago, Nasra was known as the doom and terror of modern man. He's a villainous wizard in the mold of Vecna or Abdul al-Hazred, and though he and his cult venerate Grogorath, it's entirely transactional. The Yellow Mages believe in serving only insofar as it advances their aims, hating all gods and kings but themselves.
So in other words, very much selfish, but doing the job to get what they want. And since the old gods were kind of ambivalent, you could do whatever you want.
As he wanders the cavern, smashing nomegs, he hears the snarl of a cave wolf.
Ugh. It's like the dogs from earlier turn up
The
to 11.
six-eyed creature has a mouthful of razor teeth, but the outlander senses a certain nobility in her bearing. She's a creature of the dark, but unlike so many others, she's held on to her sanity. He throws her some old meat, and in short order, the two are the best of friends.
Oh! I didn't even realize you could... Okay. I guess that's kind of awesome. Just the fact that you could actually get companions from the monsters. Huh. Also, Lagarde is not confirmed except that he is in the sequel. I am personally of the opinion Darcy and Cathar's fate is tied to ending A. Don't know what ending A is, so I'll go take your opinion for that one.
He names her Moonless, and the two travel the caverns, striking down evil and marking their territory wherever they go.
Really? Really? You're just going to say the dog marks its territory? Oh, of course.
The Cave Mother, as it turns out, survived its encounter with Darce. Wingless, it charges Ragnvaldr in the dark.
So you actually have to fight it after it took the damage against the earlier party members. Okay.
But he strikes it down with a single stroke of his eastern sword. Near the village of the Dwellers, they encounter the Salmon Snake, a gigantic...
Is that a... What No, we're calling this one here. We're about halfway through the video. I have no idea what's going on. Everything about this is weird. I really want to find out more, but also at the same time, I'm just sitting here going like, so everything is connected in some way, and you need to actually, does the game auto switch you between characters at certain points, or do you have to go to a various phases of the game to choose to change out characters to even get the right endings? And it just, how interactive is this to let you either win or fail on your own merit? I don't know. And this is cool. This is really cool. But it's so more detailed than I realized, because I thought it was just like, okay, every character has their own playthrough and their own endings, and the only connection point is the dungeon and stuff, so you get to see different aspects of it. But no, apparently they intersect a lot. So things you do in one ending also lead into things you do in others. And according to Martin, no, you only see one path, but it's just different playthroughs with different options, with different characters leading into them, so you can fail in ways that are also represented in other ones. And just this is insane and way more detailed than I had any right to believe through. And apparently I'm being told it is one character per game, but you can make a party with surprising selection. Yeah, and that's probably what it meant by getting certain options. So certain endings might not even be possible based on the playthrough itself. I can see why there's a lot of replayability here. That said, this is really fucked up. But it's got like the level of detail and world building and lore and interactions that makes it fascinating. It's a mystery wrapped in depression and insanity. And I kind of love this. Never play it, but love that they did it in the first place. Basically what I'm saying is, if you haven't already, there's a link below to the original video from Morgan Girl. Hit it up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.